Welcome back to the online points rounds number 3. I am Snowy Padre, and it's going to be solo casting for the rest of the night. Again, a big shout out to Jack Rockmar Miller. Go follow him. Sorry, over at Shouting Rock on Twitter. Not sure where else to go from there. I think the Twitter is the only thing that I need to focus on. Yeah, I think it is. But really awesome guy, and you can see by the way he talked about the scene and about esports in general, he has great knowledge of everything, and he puts a lot of time and effort into following the global scene and learning a lot through that, so he can look at local tournaments in a very skeptical manner. No, but he can provide a lot of insight to what's actually going on in terms of the game itself, rather than the individual matches going on. So big shout out to him. Thanks for joining in. We will be seeing him next week for the first game again as well. He may not be able to be doing all 3 again next week. Let's all pray that there's a giant storm in his area, so that he comes in for all 3 games like he did last week. That was amazing. That was good times. The Snowy Rock show had a lot of fun last week, but now it's just solo Snowy. So we're gonna lose about 20 viewers, and that's more than we actually have. We're gonna have -5 viewers all the way. But it's not about the viewers. It is about the game. I should be on TGN. It's in the game. What does it know? That's EA. What am I talking about? Oh yeah, enjoy the game. I can do this. Enjoy the game. No. All the sign-offs all the way. But it is going to be FH over on the blue team and Zero Elo over on the red team. All games today because we want a little bit of variety, of course. We are doing a... Oh god, Xbolt's going to make 20 accounts. That's just lies, man. Make 100, it might make a difference. We might actually hit Twitch. We might actually be a blip on the radar. That'd be great. But yeah, FH on the blue, Zero Elo on the red side. Let's see if Zero Elo picks up on a couple of picks that FH was going out for the last round. Maybe they're gonna ban out the Jarvan like NS. They don't want to see FH on that, and maybe they're gonna go for the Renekton and the Nasus as well. Of course, NS, not NS, what am I talking about? FH are on the blue team now, so it's sort of up to Zero Elo to ban out things like Shen, like Malphite, like Blitz. And that's the real horror. You know that if you're on blue team, you've got the opportunity to let champions slip because you can always first pick it, and you can always take control that way. But on the red team, you don't have that luxury. You're actually the ones in a little bit of danger there. And that's why a lot of people like that blue pick. The red pick is a little bit stronger for dragon control and can get great sight on the back of Baron as well. So it's good for that positioning. But for that first pick, it makes a lot of difference. So we'll see if they slip on if they slip on that blitz and if they let it slide. But again, we've been seeing a lot of blitzes left out in the CoG LoL Esports points rounds and in NZ Esports in general. So a lot of people are noticing that blitz isn't about as OP as it gets. It's all about having a good player to pick him. Otherwise, he can be severely outplayed. So we'll see if it does come out. I'm very much predicting a ban out of the Jarvan and potentially either Renekton or Nasus coming out from Zero Elo unless they want to pick them out as well. And I would think it's another sort of engage by FH. They like those in-your-face combos that we've seen from them a lot throughout this tournament. It's very, very nice. And yeah, Holitude calling out Thresh as the new Blitz. In a way, he is, but he's sort of that half Blitz, half Nautilus, half God damn it, Leona. And the fact that he hits someone, he then pulls them towards him, and then he pulls himself towards them. So he's like 3 champions rolled into one with a very confusing ability. So yeah, we'll see if it's if that's going to be called out. Oh yeah, Wong says let me know. Ready to start. I'm all good. I'm done talking about what could be. Let's check out what is as we get into the game. Game number 2, FH versus Zero Elo. This is going to be a pretty damn good game. I don't think we've seen an FH versus Zero Elo match yet in CoG LoL Esports, and this may be the first time they've ever come up against each other. Considering the lack of teams in the Masters division, though, I wouldn't be surprised. And hey, Champion Select. That's what I was waiting for. Thank you, Wongza. And yes, I do have Summoner Spell covers because I'm just that good. Left them out for like half of the Champ Select last game. And I do apologize for that. Just blatant disregard for people's feelings. Leaving out those summoner spells. Not good, Snowy. Everyone waiting to connect, obviously. Riot's going to be like, oh, game doesn't exist. Again. Jarvan 4 going to be the first ban out actually from FH this time. And there's the Insta Blitzcrank ban out from the red team as well. Zero Elo getting rid of that right off the bat. And hello, Calandignan. Calandignan? A little bit. And yes, it is the Jarvan. It certainly is. Eggs Vulture. Doom Flipper 72. Welcome to the stream. And it's actually 73, but I like 2 better. Thresh is going to be banned out there as well, so we're not going to see any of those grabby, have fun champions. And I really do not expect that Leona to be picked. Every Leona play that I've seen in the last couple of months, they get way too close. They outposition themselves with that Zenith Blade, and they're just bait by the end of it. Rumble getting banned out as well. They really don't like that on FH, and in fact, I don't like that on VGN as well. Incredibly strong in that top lane. Great amount of burst at that level 3 mark, and jumping onto it. Doesn't do well against Renekton for those first 3 levels, though. But who knows if you're really up against a Renekton. Malphite actually banned out by FH. We'll see if that Shen play goes down from the red team as well. It is going to be the Nasa, so we may see a Renekton top lane coming out from FH. And who knows, maybe a little bit of Shen. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see if that first pick Shen comes out from Wangza. What does he want? Most definitely. Now, there are many tanks left, X-Bolt. There are many come on. Come on, Daria. No. Garen does decent. I still love that Renekton play at the top lane. Still very tanky. Elise does pretty well with that. We again, Rockmar pointed out the initiate with her, and the Orianna play as well. That was seen in the LCS. Does very well. He's taking a long time to pick that. Wangza, are you there? Hello. He's deciding on whether or not to get that Shen pick. I'm sure. They don't know if it's worth it. Actually locking in with the Sona first pick. Interesting. Then I would be imagining a Lulu coming out from Zero Elo potentially. They're thinking of the Leona. I think So Nice is watching the stream going, nah, who cares? Oh, he does lock in on it. Let's see if my predictions about the Leona players are going to be correct. Is it going to be Leona committing them suicides? Is that really how it's going to go down? Let's see who he matches with. If he does match with that range sort of champ, I would imagine potentially a Vayne going out. Maybe a Draven, maybe a Graves. For that all-in massive damage combo. Maybe a Misfortune. But again, that's another champion without escapes. And they are going for the potentially the jungle. Who knows? We don't have the summer spells up. But potentially the jungle coming in for Hikarum. Very effective jungler as we've seen. And Quill doing it again, being a troll. Trying to get the dinger out of the hole. It's not going to work. Actually, Dango Teddy's going for that Misfortune. They noted that that ability on NS from the last game. Nella showed them the strength of the Sona poke, and combining that with Dango Teddy's Misfortune, we'll see how it goes. Of course, he did go for that GP10 early last game. Maybe he did it because he got that initial kill on Sona, and he thought, oh, I'm not going to be that mean. I know I could get that. I could get that massive upgrade and go straight for the Brutalizer. Just maybe going for the Vamp Scepter as well. Who knows? He did get the Doran's Blade, and that did do quite well for him. And he does lock in as the Misfortune. So much burst, so much poke going out from that bot lane, but not many escapes. Very easy to gank, and I'm sure, seeing as they're blue, we're going to see a lot of Hikarum going into that Tribrush. Brush and bush at the same time. Tribrush, and I think So Nice has to focus on getting out those pink wards to it. Otherwise, he's just not going to have that potential. If they don't push, which they might not be able to because of that all-in Leona, they may get pushed out because of the poke coming out from Sona and Misfortune on FH. Then it's going to have ample opportunity for Hikarum to come in there from behind from that trial from the river. And it is actually a Caitlyn going out for Zero Elo. So they're gone for range together with an all-in initiate. So that is an interesting little combo there. There's good survivability on Caitlyn, but not so much on Leona. So we'll see if Caitlyn does use her 90 Kelvin to get in on the fight really quickly. That is always a possibility, but it does leave her very vulnerable. But as we see the summoner spells coming out in just a couple of minutes, we'll see potentially why she's going in for that build. I say they're going for a very aggressive lane combo. That's all I'm saying. I know you guys know exactly what summoner spells she's got under her belt. but Amiable actually going for that Twisted Fate as well. So despite them going for that all-in combo at bot lane, they're looking for the backup from Twisted Fate, so they can't be too aggressive at that pre-level 6 mark. Past that though, they have 2 people potentially coming out to help them. I'm very surprised, FH, you did not focus on getting out that Shen at all. You left it for the enemy team, and that last pick might be able to get up on it. They're actually contemplating it though. They do have the Twisted Fate, so they could go for a little bit more power. I'd still be surprised if they didn't pick it up. It gives them split pushing, it gives them defense, it gives them quick initiate on... No, they do look in as the Kayle. Very surprising. It gives them great initiate on the bot lane if they get too aggressive as well. So skipping out entirely on that Shen and going for the Kayle, they're looking for straight out damage output. They think they can out-sustain the enemy team, but in fact, there's a lot of poke and a lot of burst coming out from FH. That Singed is going to be a horror. 32 seconds before we actually release the summoner spells. I can feel the intensity. What is going on here? Again, I am solo casting the next 2 games. I know. It's very sad. You all love Rockmar. I know, I love Rockmar. It's going to be more Rockmar show first game next week, and I'll see if I can convince him to quit playing in the mud. I don't know, I even forgot what kind of sport that he played, but he is playing in the mud. It is still a little bit rainy, at least in New Zealand. I'm sure Australia it's going nuts as well. But yeah, he is playing in the mud and won't be joining me for the next 2 games, the last games of the night. So sad. 3 games every Monday. Next Monday is the last points rounds for the mid-season, and then we're going to have 4 coming up for the rest of the season, just in about a month's time past next week. So stay tuned for that. The Masters Mega LAN is coming up as well in 2 weeks, as well as the Grind is coming up next week. And the Masters is turning into a Mega LAN because of a conflict with a local tournament coming up this weekend. So we did have it this weekend, but we are moving it to 2 weeks later, and the prize pools are going to be combined, so it's going to be more worth it, but there's less chance for different teams to get more prizes and more points because it is just 1 event as opposed to 2. So sad. Countdown is going down. Here we go. We're going to get into some summoner spells. Hey, so tasty. It is going to be that. It is going to be the teleport coming out from the Singed. So he's looking to get aggressive in the bot lane. That could be very helpful considering the retaliation from Twisted Fate. That could easily come down with the aggression in the bot lane. And it is barrier on that Caitlyn. So all in from the Leona, coming in with a 90 caliber net and potentially a barrier from Caitlyn, puts a lot of aggression onto the bot lane for Sona and Misfortune, which is dangerous for them considering they're relying on their flashes. They have no other escapes outside of that and outside of of Sona actually getting off the crescendo, which, you know, it's got a massive cooldown, and it's up to that level 6. You never know when you're actually going to get it, but not many escapes coming out from that bot lane on FH. I expect them. They do have a lot of pushing power in the early game, and again, that kind of has so many opportunities to go bot lane. He might be able to make it by going through that tri-brush. We shall see. We certainly shall. Coming into the top lane, however, Kayle versus Zed. Equal damage trade, in my opinion, but of course Kayle does scale a little bit over Zed due to that ultimate if she manages to keep up in damage, which she just may do. There's a little bit more harass coming out from Zed in the early game, though, due to Shadow, but a bit of speed coming in from the heal from Kayle gets her into a good position to put down a lot of judgment onto that Zed. So we'll see if she does push that lane quite a lot. Indeed, in that mid lane, we are going to be seeing... Oh, actually, sorry, it is Zed going in the mid lane. I am very silly. I completely missed that. Singed is going to be going in the top. What am I talking about? He probably is going to have a hard time against Kayle. She can get a lot of speed off of her heel, get away from situations where he could flip her. So I'm thinking he's going to have a very tough time with all of that judgment. All of the righteous fury coming down with the auto attacks on Kayle. I'm suspecting a lot of aggression, potentially an elixir going into to the first item. Maybe definitely doesn't want to get ganked with the power of Singed being able to flip and control fights in that top lane. Definitely does not want to risk that. So maybe going for the elixir and a side world in the beginning of the game. But at mid lane, sorry, it is going to be Zed versus the Twisted Fate as we are getting into the game. Silly me, nearly showed my desktop, so nearly. And that is an interesting combo in and of itself. There's poke from both sides and great range from both sides. So I have a feeling that mid lane, they just may never touch each other for the first 10 minutes. It may just be pure farming. How fun is that? We get to count numbers. all the fun times. In terms of pure team fights, though, again, Initiate, because of that Leona coming out from the red team, from 0 elo. Will they be able to make that count, though? Beautiful loading screen, so beautiful. Will they actually be able to make that count? Again, I haven't seen a good Leona coming out for a very, very long time. She's always put herself in a difficult position and always gone down first. She needs to do very well in that bot lane, and they're looking at a lot of aggression. I mean, they've got the lane control with Twisted Fate. They're most likely going to get pushed out because of the pushing power from FH. And that sort of gives them a very good amount of control over the lane because of the quick initiates they can develop. Again, 90 kill net from Caitlyn. Great initiates. And in team fights, it's going to be even better. Maybe the initiate from Leona is going to be completely mitigated by the Kayle ultimate as well. That could be their focus. It's difficult to say, but that is where their tank is really going. It's Leona, a little bit of Hikarum, but his damage output is a little bit meek. He's probably looking to be the tank of the team as well. We'll see if he does go Spirit or go straight into the Nashes. All the tasty stuff, all the razors in the world. Couple of golds, couple of diamonds. Again, this is the Masters, and it is going to be Team FH versus 0 elo. Nearly into the game. Hello if you are joining into the stream just now. Cheers for it. Means a lot. Company of Gamers, League of Legends, Esports. Let's do this! End game, it certainly is. FH versus 0 elo. Let me just line everything up for you. It is going to be the Elixir coming out already from Zed in the mid lane. Twisted Fate responding in kind, actually starting out. Cloth Armor, very good play. He's looking to out-sustain the lane, and he's expecting to get a lot of poke from Zed. Will Zed focus on farming, though? He's got great pushing potential with lanes. He may just ignore TF because he doesn't have the damage output early in the game. He's focused on that durability. And no, Leona is not top laning. It is going to be Kayle. Silly me. Sorry about that. Any early invades? Any early warding going out? Red Dagger is sitting in that bush. Just looks like sight, though, as the rest of his team isn't keen on getting up close and personal. And I don't know what Amiable is doing, but I know the lane swap is not going to go out. There is the one and only boss sitting in that bot position. It's just going to be Leona trying to protect that red buff. Of course, the jungler is Quill. I'm going to go with Quill. If you guys want to correct me, you can do it. But I'm going with Quill for now. Cull the ill. It is going to be Quill. Just checking out some of the gank potential. I did talk about Red Dagger. He's got all of that. He's got potentially all of that control in the bot lane. But Quill coming in with a Lee Sin. There's quite a lot of movement coming out from Team 0 elo in the mid and the top lane. And again, that 90 kill net most likely going to be used for aggression in the bot lane. So I'm not sure if he's going to be able to catch out too many people apart from Leona. Leona going to be very, very careful, hopefully. Playing against all of those initiates, all of that speed. Strat as well on Tango Teddy, so great control of being able to get aggressive in that bot lane. Wongza going to be super aggressive early in the game at that top position. He's gone straight for the poison, straight for the lane clears, and he's looking to push straight up to the turret on Kayle. Very interesting tactic, and so nice actually not getting the gold card off on Ariel. He's going to be able to get so aggressive against him. Amiable actually being able to take out that ward already from Elite member. Great control coming out from one and only boss as well. Quill actually looking to jump on So Nice, who is using those minions to his advantage, playing safe. Quill probably doesn't have any opportunity here. No, he's not going to go for it. It's going to be Doran's Blade start coming out from both of the bot lanes. And getting Gamjar is at the very top. It's going to be Team FH versus 0 elo. And I know the names aren't fully up there, but there you go. Most likely you haven't heard of these teams. They are local NZ teams. This is the local NZ circuit, and it does look like Wongza may just regret getting aggressive in this early lane. Out goes the Judgment, the flash, and there is that Q coming from Kayle, grabbing that first blood. Wongza regretting that early aggression with his poison and with his ignite. He really tried that out. He doesn't actually have an ignite. Sorry about that. Just the poison. Just the poison. But he tried to get super aggressive against Cal. He's actually going in for the teleport to get back into lane very quickly, and he's going to take a lot of punishment from Get Own Son. What are you doing, Wongza? You're playing straight into Kale's hands right now. She's sitting 8-10, so it's still a bit of farm in favor of Wongza. Maybe he's looking to out farm in that top lane. Not going so well for him. So Nice is going to be able to get this stun off on Quill, but they're going for the initiate. Out goes the barrier. So Nice responding to that perfectly. He's got the heal down as well. Great response, and that cloth armor making its work. I really thought Ariel was going to focus on that farm in the mid lane, but he did try to get aggressive against So Nice, and now that cloth armor is just not going to be doing too much for him. It did to mitigate all of that damage, though. And there's the jump going out from Ariel, trying to grab So Nice. Again, he's getting so aggressive, trying to push them out. That seems to be FH's tactic already in the game. And it's actually bot lane getting pushed out by Zero Elo, despite the poke advantage going to FH. They think Amiable's all in could really deal a lot of damage. Here's Elite Member going in for the poke. Just not doing anything at the moment. We'll see if he does pick up that early Cages pick and tries to get aggressive that way. Come on, Dango Kitty. Throw out them beautiful Qs. Come on, the double shots need it. Need that lane pressure. They really don't want that lane pressure. They may have just thought of that, of what I've said before with Red Dagger. He does have so many opportunities. And they need to ward up in that Tribe Rush. And it does look like a Sight Ward coming down already from Amiable. He does have a vision, but he's looking to save it right now. They are getting aggressive against Dango Teddy. That is why they were staying back. But look at Amiable taking all of that damage, despite Dango getting shut down for such a large portion of that fight. This is where Leona can get shut down. Let's see if she actually sustains. Oh, and in comes Red Dagger. No sight coming in from FH here, but Dango Teddy does pop out his... Oh, that last sort of attack not being able to pick off Amiable. So damn close. And the barrier going out from Dango. Oh no, Dango Teddy does have his barrier actually available to him. So getting aggressive, he's trying to bait out the initiate from Zero Elo. It's not going to happen. No, it is not. Lucky Dango. Actually, less so than lucky. Just skills coming out from Zero Elo. And there's the 90 Caliber giving that escape to Caitlyn. That is why you love those ADCs with those escapes. It allows you to get out of sticky situations. And people like Miss Fortune, very, very stuck in her way. She can't move that far without the flash. Relies very much on her movement speed, on her strut, and on her boots. She may just be focusing on getting those out early. She does have the advantage in CS. Top lane again was that first blood onto Wongza. He's still being very aggressive in the lane, which is sort of winning him CS. But is that enough to keep him going in the game? He's got that Tear of the Goddess very early in the game, and that was his focus. Now that he's got it, he's trying to stack as much health as he can with the Q in his spare time. That is potentially where the aggression is coming from. That's another tactic that he's potentially focusing on, is trying to push out Kale so that she doesn't roam lane. She's very effective at roaming lanes because of her Q. Because of that, I did use to know Reckoning going out because of the Reckoning. Getting a lane, she is a very effective ganker, a little bit like a Nessus, a little bit less effective than that Wither, but still getting off that heavy slow and that heavy burst of ability power. It does very well, especially against champions with initiates, like in the mid and the bot lane. If So Nice initiates with the gold card, a Reckoning could really mean the end for Ariel. That is what it really is. Stuns don't do as much to characters like Zed than slows do, because even if they flash out, they still need to get away through running back from there. Yeah, Wong's is still taking a lot of damage. Elite Member is going to be the focus of attention. Amiable actually getting some good shots off in the bot lane. Still not able to take a hit though. We may see some early armor coming out from that. From Amiable. Doesn't seem to be taking too much damage from Elite Member. And there's the lane clearing from Dango Teddy. He may just be going back with that effect. Indeed he is. There's already a lot of power coming out from the Zero Elo ADC, one and only boss, because he has managed to go back. He did get pushed out of lane. That's cost him a bit of CS, but he's now sitting there with a Vamp Scepter and a Doran's Blade. So going back, Dango Teddy now looking at that, the BF Sword. Going to be pushing his lane so much more effectively, dealing with that damage so much more effectively. Amiable is going to take so much damage and so much punishment when jumping on that Misfortune now. Let's see if he's still so confident to do that in lane. And now Elite Men are level 5 looking for that level 6. Red Dagger's going to try and focus down Aerial. That last auto attack from the turret, last attack from the turret is going to put so much damage down on Red Dagger. He wasn't able to take it all with that clutch ult coming out from Zed. Perfectly played with the death mark. Absolutely amazing. So Nice was able to retaliate a little bit. He's gone for the ult. He does manage to get away with it. Sitting on 7 health. That is the clutchiest Destiny if I've ever seen one. What the hell? Great retaliation from So Nice. He saw that. He just knew he was isolated. I would have panicked so hard and very much died there. This is the difference between me and the top players. I do not Destiny. Not something that I pull out hard enough. Zed is focusing on getting out potentially a Blade of the Ruined King with the auto attacks. Maybe looking at a little bit of burst. Maybe he's gone for the Hex Tech. For the Gunblade. I wouldn't suspect it. I really haven't seen that for a long time. But what do we know from Aerial? What do we know? He can do anything. Haven't seen him on Zed just yet in the points rounds in CoG LoL Esports. What did you guys think of this game coming in? We do have a couple of viewers over on the stream. Cheers for joining in, and thank you everyone for doing those stream raids. It was a lot of fun. Surprisingly, we're only sitting at 14 compared to 50 on the first day of points rounds. Where has the community gone? Everyone's gone into hiding. It's now University escape time, and Wong's actually running straight into Red Dagger head on, and Red Dagger does actually have his Onslaught of Shadows on cooldown. There's the Reckoning down from Get Own Son as Wong's is sitting there. He does have his flash, and he does manage to get out just barely in time. So Nice isn't looking to be going down anytime soon. He's got that initial kill already on Aerial with that dive from Red Dagger. But it looks like Quill is pretty happy to die. Oh, jump So Nice. He does manage to get the gold card off. It looks like the end of Quill now. Those auto attacks may just be enough, and the minions are helping him out. One dead Quill, and it's going to be red buff going to So Nice. He is now double buff. Aerial didn't manage to retaliate in time, and Aimable, trying to get that clutch Zenith Blade out, but enough Living Shadow for Aerial is going to be able to protect him. Great response. So close from Aimable. That Zenith was very, very close. Would have made it if not for the Living Shadow. Lots of clutch plays happening. This is true Masters Division. This is what I've been waiting for, people. We have actually... I've actually been pretty happy with all the games coming into CoG LoL Esports, to be honest. No disappointments. And sometimes players just get very tired, or they've got lag. There's so many issues. Some great plays coming out in this game. Seeker's coming in from the mid lane. So Nice did focus on getting out that early cloth, and that's where it is going. Going out with a Bilgewater Cutlass from Zed doesn't provide that much burst early in the game. He's got to focus on getting out that Brutalizer if he really wants to deal some damage. But now that Seekers is already on So Nice from that initial kill and that assist, sorry, those initial 2 kills. Was checking out Hikarum for a second there. Oh, they're trying to get aggressive up against this Kale, but she does have that ultimate available. Not much you can do to try and dive on a Kale with that, with the ultimate available. Elite member is trying to jump on it. Here comes the Destiny from Twisted Fate. He does manage to get off the gold card as well as Dango Teddy throws down his barrier, and they do manage to focus out a kill onto Leona again. Aimable just cannot take a hit as Leona trying to get so up close and personal with the Zenith Blade. Actually took all of that all of that turret damage. And one and only boss, you did see it right there, Ace in the hole picking up that second kill of the fight. No one there to protect out the Sona. And there's that lane control that we were talking about at the beginning of the game from Zero Elo. They've got So Nice coming in with Twisted Fate, and that's why Amiable works on Leona. That is the only reason. And direct aggression going out onto Wongza. He really needs to pick himself up a little bit of armor, a little bit of magic resist. He's focused on getting out his core items, and it looks like he's focusing on getting out his his Rod of Ages as well. No ability to chase from So Nice. His flash just actually got back up now. He may just know exactly where Zed is hiding right now. He's going to throw out the wild cards. Where are the wild cards? He gets the sight. No, it's not going to be quick enough. If those wild cards had just gotten out, he would have gotten himself potentially a kill. Definitely would have pushed Zed out and delayed that back. Very close on the side. Very close indeed. He was a little bit out of sight. It was just out of sight range there, so that is why. If he played forward just maybe a little bit down from where it is right now, he would have gotten that. Would have had that sight. 3-6 going an advantage to Zero Elo at the moment, and they've got the farm advantage. in the majority of their lanes. Actually only sitting in the top and in the jungle, which is surprising. I mean, you've seen those 2 deaths go down from Wongza in the top lane. He knows he's got a hard lane up against the Kale. He first picked, sorry, actually second or third picked out the Singed. And Kale perfectly picking him out of that trade. He's trying to be very aggressive, and that's sort of done well with the CS, but giving 2 kills to Kale is going to cost him quite a lot. She has gone double Dorans, didn't focus out getting the Stinger very quickly. Does have that Fiendish to try and follow up with it, and will try and get it. There's the Reckoning going into you see that Shred coming in with the Reckoning. Sorry, Reckoning into Righteous Fury. I did get it right the first couple of times, but my brain just slightly failed me. Reckoning into Righteous Fury, goes to Shred on Wongza. He's looking to outscale her with tankiness, and well, that is sort of working. Amable going for this interplay, does find it on Tango, and throws out the ultimate as well with the Initiate from Red Dagger. That's going to be one great kill from them. Again, there's the Initiate, and there's So Nice coming in with the global presence. Ace in the Hole isn't going to be even able to pick it out from one and only boss. Too much damage from So Nice with that 3-0. Sorry, with that 2-0, getting in the 3-0 before. Actually, with Dagger picking that up, sitting 1-2-2, and they've now got Dragon Control sitting 19.9. They're going to be able to hit that 20k gold mark pretty early in the game, sitting at 14 minutes in. And Wongza still having trouble in that top lane, still taking all of that damage, but still pushing the lane effectively, keeping Kale's attention focused on the top lane. Is that worth it, though? Giving away those 2 kills at the top lane to Kale in the trade of having her stay in her lane and not being able to control the lane together with So Nice and Red Dagger. I mean, they're already doing so well. Would it have been worth it to just play safe as opposed to trying to push that lane out and show that much aggression, that Tarek juicy stuff on the back of you? If you guys can see it, that is a little picture of Tarek on the bottle there. Also good, just in case you didn't notice. Lots of fun. And we do see no sunglasses in this game as Wongza still getting the Shred, still getting the hurt on him from the range from Kale. She goes in with the Reckoning and does manage to get the Ignite off, getting the kill. Good response, actually got the flash out from Wongza as well. Kill and a flash burned out, that is exactly what you want from that Initiate. A little bit of a clutch call from Wongza there. He needs to start using that teleport. He's going to lose that top turret very, very early now. It's gonna pressure him to get that teleport off into the bot or the mid lane, and maybe he's gonna be able to react in that way. Maybe he's gonna be able to control the team fights. Sorry, not the team fights, the lanes in that way. But already Zero Elo are so far ahead. FH with the Renekton and Nasus combo last game doing so well against Nullheim. But without that combo, FH just do not know what to do, especially with getting outpicked in that top lane. It's just been a lot of ganks and a lot of map presence coming out from Zero Elo. That is where the control has really been. And better than Cameron asking me if I've got thoughts on Full House Gaming, not too many. And again, Team FH is not Full House Gaming. Full House Gaming is a different team over in the Grinders. But Full House, they were looking decently strong. Not seeing them up the level of UT just yet, though, of UT, Paul Bryan, and TSN and Z. Let me see, we do have an Initiate coming out from Red Dagger, getting very aggressive. That turret did go down, it was very low. Elite never the focus of that onslaught of shadows. Quill now sitting in a very dangerous position. Aimable does not have the center plate back just yet, and there's the teleport coming out from Wongza, but he doesn't quite have the speed or the damage or the items to follow up on that because of his shutdown at the top lane. He did manage to save 2 deaths from going down. Oh, that center plate actually landed on Wongza as he takes it for the team. Quill was the focus of attention, and Red Dagger most likely going to be trying to... Oh, he actually backs out of that engage. Surprisingly, the rest of his team was following up on that, but he didn't want to take that engage. And now everywhere from FH is gone. All of the lanes have been completely abandoned now that FH have been forced to respond to that bot lane aggression. And FH taking that mid, top, and bottom turret. They've gone for a 3-0 turret already in the game, sitting at 18 minutes. A lot of map control, and now they've got the gold. They're going to start scaling very, very well. Looks like the Lich Bane coming out from So Nice. We do see a lot of Twisted Fates like going for that early Zhonya's Hourglass, because of course the Seekers does so well in that mid lane against champions like Zed. it just makes that that much more of a difference. And control of teamfight skyrockets with with the Zhonya's Hourglass. So much more worth it. And yes, it is going to be a focus out of the actually Sona Ariel trying to get aggressive against So Nice. Out goes the gold card. Very outplaced, misplaced aggression. Down goes a very well placed Sunflare from Aimable, actually scoring them the kill on that Zed. Great placement and great control. Zed just overextended a little bit. That gold card went down from So Nice, and that was it. Nothing much more they could do from that point. But Blade of the Ruined King is being focused out from Zed. He did manage to get that Brutalizer, and he is sitting 2-2, so it's not that much bad. He is, of course, as I said before, he's got so much pushing power in the lane as well. He does have quite a lot more CS as the Twisted Fate as well. Jungler Red Dagger actually focused out getting the Lizard buff, so he's gone for aggression. Their main tank is sort of Leona, and she did focus on getting out the Ruby Sidestone early in the game, not going for that GP10 control. Sitting at 6 assists, works out very well for her. That's sitting at 4k compared to 3.5k over on Sona. Early aggression on Leona just happened to work. So if that's what you guys were wondering, if you have been playing Leona recently and you send a Blade into a crap ton of damage and you just don't know what to do, that's what you do. You have a Twisted Fate on your team to back you up with a Destiny. That is it. Or a Shen. Shen does brilliantly. Or a Lulu, but why you'd have 2 support bots, I have no idea. 311 right now, already a 6k advantage, and Wongza, you have no turret. Get out of there. In terms of teamfight control, because of the damage and the initiate power on Zero Elo, they've shown all of their cards right now. The Zenith Blade doesn't output Aimable too much because of the Destiny from So Nice, and because of the speed on Red Dagger, being able to get into the fight and then output his Onslaught of Shadows just works so well for the initiate on Leona. That is how you respond to a team fight when everybody's focused on Leona. Onslaught of Shadows makes it very worth it. One and only boss can follow up decently as well. Getting out a 90 caliber net gets her into the fight decently, and of course she's got the ace in the hole just to poke everyone out a little bit. And Kale with that silly ultimate of hers. That's where the team fight control is really going to be coming from. Quick initiate followed up by high burst damage and sustain. Dragon is going to go down to 0 elo. Nothing that FH could do at all there to retaliate to that dragon. They're just so far behind at this point in the game. It's all of the damage, all of that, and of course there was that silly little vision ward sitting at the dragon as well. They popped out all of that side. Aimable actually going in for the initiate. Out goes the crescendo from Elite member in retaliation. Now it is a focus on Quill at the moment, as they are actually managing to push out Zero Elo with the turret damage and the crescendo. The brilliant crescendo going down. Dango Teddy doesn't actually manage to use that ultimate, trying to mitigate Dragon going out, and Quill following up great on Aimable, getting off that kill, and a great flip going out on Get On Sun. That ultimate has gone down now, and it's not necessarily going to be working. They do manage to shred down Quill there, making it a 1-for-3 exchange. Semi worth it, to be honest. But still that much more in favor of FH. Sorry, I was about to say their original name, but it is a little bit dirty, and they have retorted back to the FH. So I'm not going to be saying that. If you guys want to check out their history, you can go and watch all of them videos of the scene last year. God, we need to step away from that. They need a name for that acronym. Oh, the FH. Oh, the fun times. Fun Times actually changed to Ira, so Fun Times being another team. Silly me. But yeah, that of course, that initiate went great with a crescendo going into the turret damage, and of course isolating Aimable. No one could follow up to provide the damage output or the tankiness to continue holding their team together. Dago Teddy had already dropped them fairly low with the bullet time at the dragon encounter, and they were just pushing with aggression that they didn't have. Map control is actually looking quite sparse for both teams. Now that FH has won a team fight, they know they can do it again, and they just need a little bit more warning to follow up with the map control. Of course, So Nice does have that ultimate, so when they do want to go for an engage, if they do spot someone alone, they can throw out the Destiny and make absolute sure of it, and then go for the engage. Great way of securing a kill in the middle of the jungle and you have no sight. But is it going to be zero elo with being able to feed off the enemy jungle? It looks like FH have been utilizing their jungle pretty decently now. And Elite member actually not utilizing wards very well there. Sorry. Try to get that into the bush, but instant destruction it spells for them. That is where wards save lives, people. Trying to follow it up. Now Elite member is down, that crescendo isn't available, and that was the crux of FH's team fight. As Zero Elo moves in for another turret, they've got the burst, they've got the range, but if they get too close, Wongs is going to have a feeding frenzy. Despite the fact that he has been decently shut down enough in lane with those 3 deaths, he's done very, very well with his aggression to pick up a lot of minion kills, a lot of CS, and he's got those 2 assists sitting on him, so he's tanked up decently enough with a lot of mana and a lot of sustain. That way he's looking to stay in those team fights and pull off a lot of damage with his poison. And sitting at turrets, that's where they have the advantage. That's why they could push out Zero Elo just then. That's why it worked. A turret there combined with a Singed, not a fun time. And there isn't actually, again, as I said before in at the beginning of the game, there's no real tanks coming out from Zero Elo. It is going to be Red Dagger focusing on quite a little bit of damage. He's got that Spirit of the Lizard out there. He didn't go for the Golem. And Aimable focused on getting as much health as she can early in the game. Didn't manage to get out that early Philosopher's Stone. Focusing on getting it now, I believe. Actually, maybe going for the Locket of the Iron Solaris. So no GB10s coming out from Aimable. Looking to get all of those assists. It has died down since then. And I think Sona was caught up just a little. Yes, she certainly has. She certainly has 4 assists. And she's managed now... with those 3 turrets, they have managed to exchange all of those outer turrets, so she's come back a little bit in that gold advantage. Now sitting equal, and that is the disadvantage of not getting a GB10 on a support, but they did that because they needed Leona for those initiates and that tankiness. But Gedon Sun does have the ultimate available, and they've got quite a lot of teamfight control with the Onslaught of Shadows and the gold card. That could be enough to control teamfights very effectively. But they're starting to focus all of their map control on controlling the jungle belonging to FH rather than controlling the rest of the map, which FH have actually warded pretty decently. There's the perfect initiate crescendo going down as well, and from Elite member actually controlled that team fight a little bit more effectively than Aimable, who's now isolated from the team and will be the focus of attention. Flashing out, down goes one and only. The ADC and Aimable going down. Ariel costed him his life to get that. And the ultimate actually burned out from Get Owned as well as the chase is on. Quill actually managing to queue a minion. Sad for him, that flash is not going to be worth it. Tango Teddy does have that strike. The slow does not go off on Get Owned Son, but there was a great retaliation from FH. Aimable just Zenith blading a little bit out of reach of her team. Did manage to get separated, and the crescendo perfectly placed again at the exact same position as well as he saw that last team fight by Sona. I'm thinking Zero Elo is not going to like that position in the map, that little area down by that mid turret from FH. They're going to stay very far away from it. 9:14 in the game, and again FH coming back in those team fights because of that crescendo and because of Amable's outpositioning. Get Owned Sun is forced to throw out that ultimate. And Zed actually had a field day in the middle of the rest of them. While they couldn't take any damage, they could pull out a decent amount, but they just couldn't take a hit. And that's where Ariel is focusing his damage. He's got the Bloodthirster, he's got that Brutalizer. Dragon actually going down to FH now for the first time in the game. Zero Elo didn't make amends that way. Wongs is looking to try and trying to force the chase out from FH. Sorry, from Zero Elo, rather. But Get Owned Sun gonna have none of it with his Reckoning. Not at all. But look at that, the gold advantage is being dropped down just that little bit. The CS is starting to level out, the kills are starting to level out as well. And the Dragon that they scored with that engage, now they're going to be able to get that last outer turret at the bot lane, making it a perfect trade, 3 for 3 turrets. And a sneaky Baron coming out from Zero Elo. They can land this pretty easily. The ward did go down by FH. There is one very easy dragon for Zero Elo. Will be able to push in and potentially finish off this game. Let's see if FH can come out ahead in team fights like they have been doing. There is now there is now that ultimate on Kale. God, I keep forgetting it. It is the intervention and the hourglass coming out from So Nice. So as long as Aimable holds her zenith until the last minute, or places it for the perfect position to get off an onslaught of shadows from Red Dagger, they'll have a really, really good team fight. They'll be able to fear everyone. They'll be able to control everyone, get those stuns off, get the survivability they need, mitigate the damage. There are a lot of skill shots coming out from Ariel and Wongza, and a little bit from Kate. A little bit enough to mean that to mean that a hourglass can do a lot in a team fight for Zero Elo, as long as So Nice gets the attention he deserves. But that is not always the case. I mean, you're looking at a twisted fate here. He's not going to be in the middle of everyone's face. He's looking to be back. He's looking to be poking. If he is the focus of attention, though, he's very much going to get out that hourglass and very much mitigate a lot of the enemy damage. So it's a lot about it's a lot to do with focus on FH, and I think their key focus is going to be Aimable because of his initiate. But Aimable isn't where the damage output is coming from. As long as the elite member gets out another very, very good crescendo, maybe Dango Titties has enough damage to really pull her off. She has got that brutalizer, she has got the bloodthirster, and following up with auto attacks on the last whisper could mean enough damage to come into team fights and wipe everyone away. And yes, it was a Locket of the Iron Solari coming out on Aimable. No GP10s for that Leona. And now Sight getting dominated by Zero Elo again in the game as they continue to control the map. They did sort of fall behind in control as soon as they started losing team fights, but now with Baron, they've hung back. They're assessing the situation a little bit more effectively, and now mitigating Sight from FH as well. They're really looking to control the entirety of the map. Oh, that may just catch a slight little Wongza off guard. Down goes the Reckoning, following up with those Justice Strikes. Oh, that Zenith Blade just barely missing. Not going to give him a kill, but they are going to push out Wongza enough to make him a little bit less effective coming into this fight. Wongza, you have to stay at that turret to protect it. The rest of your team may not be able to follow up with it. He does go back to base despite that. That may just be another... Yeah, it's going to be another turret for Zero Elo there. They've got the range, they've got the control. Nothing that FH can do without a singed at a turret. Out goes the onslaught of shadows, knocking Dango back. They do manage to get the initial kill on Dango. No ultimate from the ADC, no follow-up auto attacks either. And Elite member getting knocked down a peg as well. Absolutely perfect initiate, so much damage output. What just happened to FH? Putting himself in a difficult position for Red Dagger to get that initiate. Now that Aimable isn't going for the initiates herself, there's a little bit more effectiveness coming out from Zero Elo. And look at that poke that they're able to get off as well. Wongza is in no position to take those hits. And Quill actually jumping into the middle of the team fight. I can't honestly say that he thought his team was going to back him up. They were looking very low, and now it's going to be a complete push in from Zero Elo. After this Nexus goes down, they're going to push out, potentially get that mid. Or potentially take actually control of the rest of FH's jungle. Nothing else that they want to do outside of that. They've got a great minion ball coming into that mid lane, so that's going to be another turret for them. The rest of FH are going to try and retaliate, but they need Singed to survive a turret engage so that he can get up close and personal and force a fight at the turret. There he goes. Wongza getting the flip on Get Own Son. Will be throwing down the ultimate. Does mitigate a decent amount of damage. Actually costs the life of potentially Ariel as he may go down here. Wongza's getting very low there. No kills, no kills. Actually, Emil going to get focused down. Everyone on Zero Elo looking very, very low, but they managed to focus down Dango Titty enough as he was completely out-positioned, 1-for-1, and they managed to poke out the turret. Great play, great response, and great, oh wow, actually great ability aiming from So Nice there. Out goes Ace in the hole, not going to be enough to take down an Elite member. They don't manage to focus down Wongza. He isn't actually in lane, so that just happened. But good retaliation from Zero Elo there. They had a great initiate with their Vage, but that flip going out from Singed onto Get Own Son was the worst Actually, one of the worst possible things they could have done, they could have gotten it off on So Nice, who did actually throw down his Hourglass as well in the middle of that team fight. Their survivability is just completely out-sustaining FH in team fights. But you can see, Zero Elo have a gold gap of, what is that? 7, I can do math. Have a gold gap of about 7k. And in team fights, FH can trade with them very, very well. I mean, they did have a turret in that team fight, but they can still trade very, very well. They've got the damage output, especially with the AoE from Dango Titties when you don't manage to focus her out of the team fight, when she manages to stay back and get protected. But it's all about the survivability coming out from Zero Elo that has kept them in these fights and that has kept them alive. They nearly all went down in that engage, and forcing the rest of FH out of that team fight was what gave them the win after they'd burned everything on Get Own Son. Will FH be able to focus a little bit more effectively? Because, I mean, Get Own Son, she can place that ultimate down on anyone she wants. And then if they try to take down So Nice, maybe focusing on AoE with So Nice, as he is focused on ranged poke, and they just need to keep him out of the fight. But that's a lot of their damage output as well. Not something to be taken lightly, not something to be left alone. So many pinks coming out from Aimable right now. Grabbing another couple there as well. Controlling the map that way, and that is of course how they got that Sona before. Found her in a bush. That was the end of the Sona. That is why you bush check with wards, players. Elite member needs some. Nah, kidding. She is sitting there with the Ruby Sidestone, getting the Aegis for her team now. Next, looking at actually getting out the Shirley is not going for that Lock of the Iron Solari, but we do see that on Quill. So it looks like Quill trying to get the Initiate over on FH. Surprising considering Singed is the focus of attention. He wants to get really tanky, and he's got that Giant Spell now. And it looks like he's trying to get that Rylite. So it's going to be a second Baron focused down on Zero Elo. FH still don't know this is going on. Looks like it will be going down. Yes, Zero Elo gets another Baron and Elite member. You're going to be taken down very quickly there. Great placing on. It actually wasn't the ultimate coming out from Able. It was the gold card from So Nice. But the ultimate from Able getting that last amount of slow, actually picking up another kill for Zero Elo, sitting 20-10, and they do have the Baron buff. So that may just be it for the fight. FH don't have the Crescendo available to them that has been giving them those fights on a silver platter. They're missing a teammate. They're down a Baron. And they've got pressure coming in from that bot lane that has actually forced Wongza to go out of lane. He's not there to retaliate, so they may just focus in here. Oh, they actually are going to... Oh! They do have the opportunity to focus down these turrets. No! Wongza is back in the fight. He flashes in for the flip, going straight for Get On Son again. Not even needing to throw down his ultimate. Oh, and he actually misses triggering it off. In comes Red Dagger, though it won't make a difference as the rest of FH are just cannon fodder. Elite Men getting back in time to throw out a Crescendo, changing the tide of the team fight. Red Dagger going in. It looks like Dango Teddy getting enough auto attack off to deal with them. Despite the mobility of Zero Elo, FH were able to get back into the fight quickly enough, go in one at a time and control the team fight. Perfect flip on Get On Son. They were just too close to that summoner circle. And the rest of FH were getting back and retaliating in perfect unison. And they were close together as a team. The rest of Zero Elo saw that Get On Son was getting focused down. The ultimate didn't even go off from him at all. And they managed to burst him down quickly enough to control that team fight. That was just one ultimate not going down. It gave FH the control they needed. And following up with Dango Teddy, who actually survived a lot of that fight. The entirety of that fight, actually, was protect the ADC and that perfect Crescendo coming in. Great retaliation. And F showing you the entire map. Have fun. Kidding. Anyway, 14-23, and we are sitting nearly at a 10k gold gap for Zero Elo. FH still having decent team fights. But the reason, again, the reason for that, they lost those initial team fights in the mid game because they managed to catch Aimable off guard, and there were no tanks there to retaliate on Zero Elo's side. Now in the late game, they've got to focus on trying to mitigate the ultimates coming out from Kale. The ultimate coming out from Kale and the and the Hourglass coming out from Twisted Fate. Once they've done that, they have enough control over the team fight. And Dango Kitty actually managing to get out the barrier, but not managed to survive the rest of that fight. 3v1 and the lockdown goes off. Aimable going in with lockdown for his Zenith Blade, Shield of Daybreak, and the gold card going to be enough to hold them in place for as long as they want. Then they come with the poke. They've still got Baron buff available on a couple of zero elo. They're able to move in here and deal whatever damage they want. They're really securing their victory. Maybe not even focusing out that last turret up at the top lane. There's FH retaliating. There it goes again. A lot of poke from zero elo. Will that crescendo be enough to change around the team fight again as Wongza is the focus of attention? He is getting so low. He does have home guard. He will be able to get back into the fight a little bit quicker, but so much poke from zero elo means that the initial turret did go down outside of the large inhibitor. The biggest inhibitor of them all. Here we go, FH trying to poke them out, and goes the onslaught of Shadows and Aimable, focusing down Quill. Actually, Singe getting focused down by the rest of the team as well as the ultimate goes out from Dango Titty. They're trying to focus down the ADC. They managed to find their mark, but they've been taking so much damage since it's been happening. Quill actually getting back into the game there. Believe he did survive, yes, but it's not going to be enough. He's not able to stay in the fight. He does manage to flash back out of there, but it was the Lich Bane coming out from So Nice that did control that. Oh, Red Dagger getting a little bit too close to that Summoner Circle, and that's one dead, very large Nexus. Going to be zero elo taking away that game. Could hardly follow that team fight. So much mobility coming out from both of the teams. A little bit more from zero elo there. But they just had so much control early in the game, and they used that gold gap to take control of the mid in the late game. But it was FH's ability to take control of Leona's mispositioning that gave them those initial team fights, but they weren't able to keep it going with those gold advantages. Anyway, it's going to be Oceanic Prime versus Team FH now, and we will be going straight into the game. These have been perfectly timed games, actually. 9:08 p.m. at the moment. So between 9:08 and 9:15, we will get the third game started. Last one of the night. Don't go away. It's going to be happening very soon. I'm Snowy Padre. This is Company of Gamers, League of Legends Esports. Points rounds number 3. Keep it going, guys. Thanks for listening, watching.